PI. We're sitting at 14 minutes past 8 o'clock. Award-winning Kiwi and Samoan musician rapper Mellows has officially released his first track for 2022. The new track is called Pray for More, which features even Aussie rap frontman Lisi and the great Mikey Dam. Pray for More is what they've coined as an introspective track for the guys, recounting the experiences of turning their own personal hardships and setbacks into their biggest strengths. Have a listen.
Gotta say grace, everybody gotta eat, not everybody gotta play. If they wanna hate, turn it to the light side. The world's so cold, every day I pray. I pray more, still heading up. I pray for more, still heading up.
So it is a privilege to be joined now with musician Mellows. With that, I say Manole Soifon, welcome to the show this morning.
My lord, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on here. My grandmother used to listen to this when I was a kid, so yeah, coming on this station means a lot to me.
Wow. Hey, look, no, absolutely, it's an honor and privilege to have you be with us this morning, Mello. Look, you know that song Pray for More, we played a little bit there. Of course, it does touch on, a lot of your different life experiences. Do you mind sharing maybe just a little bit of what your upbringing was like?
Yeah. So I wrote this song coming from a space where when I was kind of in my late teens, getting into a little bit of mischief with the boys and the hood and stuff, but also keeping those core values and morals that I got brought up on from my my grandmother, my mother, and those are the things that keep me resilient. And having my relationship with God, whatever that looks like to people, it's like it's kind of like sometimes when you feel you're in a dark space and like sometimes we pray and nothing comes out of it, and we're like, oh man, I'm not getting my calling's not being answered or whatever, and then at the end of the day, we realize, oh, God has been with us the whole time. That's kind of like where I was coming from with the song, if that makes sense. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's that whole thing, right? You say whether or not you were playing up while you were in your teenager years, but somehow music has played such a big, massive part of your life, in regards to dealing with your life experiences. What got you into music anyway in the first place?
Yeah, so like when I was younger, me and the boys, we used to like at school and stuff, we'd get into music and we get up to no good and stuff. But the thing that kept me out of trouble was the music. Is when I found poetry, when I found hip-hop and rap music, and when I found my voice, that's when I found like that was my therapy for combating what I was going through at the time and expressing a lot of stories and narrating a lot of what was going on around my surroundings and my environment at the time. So although it could have been hostile and I don't know, like a little bit misguided at time, I use music as the outlet and the therapy for me to get things off my chest, and whatever emotion that I had built up inside, I could use that to express what I was going through, and then other people in my community could relate to that, or some people could relate to that, and that's kind of how I got into it. It's like, oh wow, it's not just impacting myself, it's also influencing other people around me, which for me is quite impactful. Yeah.
And I love how you don't shy away from representing your neighborhood. I know you're a proud Avondalian, and even the track, I hear that some vocals are from your Avondale Intermediate Choir. How did that come about?
Oh, it's a full circle moment for me, because back when I was in intermediate, I was actually in the choir as well. So when I was writing the song, I had kind of like a gospel feel, and I was thinking, man, I really need to get like a choir on board. And I was gonna head up like an actual choir, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna head up Grace, the sis. She's also a singer and a friend of mine as well. And it just so happened that she teaches the choir at Avondale Intermediate. And because I was already part of the choir, I was like, oh, it's only right for me to go back to school. And so I took my engineer and some camera crew, and we went to the Avondale Intermediate, and we recorded the choir, and we made a whole day of it, and it was a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that probably would have been real buzzy for the kids, of course, to have to be part of a project like this. I think even, your collaboration with the likes of Lisi and Mikey Dam, how did that even come about, and why did you choose these two guys?
Yeah, so I work quite close with Mikey Dam. Even though when he's not on some of my songs, he'll listen to some of my songs and give me feedback. He's a really good writer and good at melodies and like putting things together and stuff. So if I need some feedback or an extra air on some of my music, he's always there to give me feedback. So when I wrote that song, I had like a kind of like a vibe already in my head where I could see the chorus going, and I knew he had the voice and the melody. So I was like, oh man. So I sent him the song, and he was really keen. And so I sent him some keywords like, oh, can you put this in it and that in it? And he made it his own and sent it back to me. And I was like, that's the one. And then when we were listening to the song, I had my verse on it and then his chorus. And we're thinking about, oh man, this would sound cool if we could get like an Aussie brother on there, like someone from over the ditch, because at the time the whole like 1-4 HP boys, Lisi, they were all popping off at the time. And I could really hear one of them on there, and then I could really hear Lisi on there because he's more of a storyteller, and his lyrics really got like meaningful stuff in his lyrics. So it was only right. So I sent it to Doso, and yeah, the rest is history. He was keen as to jump on, and yeah, he actually flew over to shoot the video as well. So yeah, it was an honor having him over here. And no, it's cool just to, you know, like bridge the gap between the Australian and the New Zealand scene. So yeah, I could do that with the song.
Love it, love it. If you're tuning in, we are speaking with musician MELODOWNZ, of course, about his new track, Pray For Me, featuring Lisi and also Mikey Dam. I must say, Mello, throughout your years, aspiring musicians are, do you think, though, as a musician yourself, that our Pacific families are quite supportive, of our children using music as a form of expression?
I think it really depends. Like I know, like old school, like my nana would never approve of me doing music as a career. To be honest, she didn't want me to play rugby. She wanted me to play tennis because she saw all the Palangis getting big money playing tennis. So she was like, you should play tennis, or like whatever they're doing, you need to do that. So I don't think, like, I think now the narrative is changing. Families are starting to see, oh, there's actually successful Polynesian musicians coming out of this country and coming out of like America and Australia and all around the world. So I think because you know us, as islanders, we're stubborn, and so coming from an old school family, it was kind of like, but my mother was always open-minded, so she was like, you can be whatever you want to be, and so she was really supportive of my career. So I do think as Polynesians, I think it's getting more accepted to be, you know, musician as a career path for us. And it, like for those listening who think it's not, you know, I've been doing this full time for about 4 years now, and it's not like I'm rich and I own, you know, like houses and buildings or whatever, but I get by, and I'm quite happy doing what I do. So yeah, just for those people, for the parents that are listening, if your son wants to be a rapper or a singer, they can be whatever they want to be.
Yeah, 100% total with that. Have you actually noticed any sort of upcoming talent? I know, you talk about the likes of Lisi, who's, sort of just came out, but any other talent that you look out for in the Pacific community?
Yeah. So every now and then we run like kind of like youth programs in the community, like Mount Ruskell, Wesley community out west, and we go into alternative education facilities. Shout out to Rizwan, he does that as well. And there's so much talent. Just to name off the bat, I would have to name about 1,000 people, but there's so much beautiful talent coming out of South Auckland, West Auckland. There's the likes of like Church and AP, they're really killing it. Diggy Dupe is a friend of mine, he's really killing it. Dead Forest is another rapper. There's so many like female musicians coming out as well. It's a thriving scene at the moment for me to name everybody, but yeah, just if I could just say that, yeah, it's really popping off out here.
Mello, of course, this song, Pray For More, is it maybe part of a bigger piece of work that may be on its way?
Yeah, so this is like the first glimpse into what's going to become my album. So this is the first song off my album that is dropping later this year. I don't have an exact date yet, but yeah, if you guys like Pray For More, then you're really going to enjoy this album. It's a very diverse piece of work, and I wrote a lot of it when I was in LA as well. So there's a lot of that influence from the producers that I worked with and from the people I was hanging out with over there as well, and just kind of like an insight into my life over the last couple of years. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out.
Absolutely. I do want to sort of backtrack a little, because I loved how you spoke about, how your nana used to listen to 531 PI. I would love to know, what was the role that your nana played in your life that I suppose may have helped you shape you to who you are today?
Yeah, so my mother pretty much raised me, and then my grandmother actually got cancer when I was about maybe 12 or 13. And so we had to move back to Avondale in our family house. And because my mom worked full time, I was at home with my nana all the time. So she was like a big role model for me. she was always on the couch with her Bible and telling me this and that. So she was a big influence on me, like whether I knew that, like whether I realized that or not. But now that I'm older, I'm like, man, all those precious moments that I had with her, you know, they're embedded in me forever. So she had a big part to play. In terms of just, she was really stubborn. Like I remember one time I got bullied at school, and she was like, when you see him, if he talks, you just punch him in the face. And, and my mother would be like, don't, whatever you do, if someone wants an altercation, just walk away. And so when the altercation happened, I was like, I either walk away, I punch him in the face. And I chose to do what my nana told me. And so I went home, and she was really proud of me. Like, I'm not condoning violence at all, but I'm just saying, like, she was a very hard woman, and she installed those values into me, like, don't take anything from anyone. And if you want to get it, then you can be whatever you want to be, kind of thing. And just those core values that she raised me on, I'm gonna, you know, instill those into my children as well.
Yeah, don't worry. I think, Mello, we all have a nana like that, so you're not alone on that. I would just quickly like to ask, before I sort of get your final message from you, do you think you'll ever do a piece maybe in your mother tongue?
Yes, because for those that don't know, I'm also part Māori as well, and so last year I did the Waiata anthems. So I translated one of my songs, Fine, into Te Reo Māori. And as soon as I did that, a lot of people didn't even realize I was Māori, because I was more connected on my Samoan side. And although my mother tongue is pretty rusty and stuff, I would love to, you know, take more classes and learn more about my culture. And that's one thing I really want to do, because when I dropped the Te Reo Māori version, all the usos and all the sisters, they're like, bro, when are you gonna do the fast Samoan version? Yeah, and so that's a goal of mine in the next couple of years. I really want to do something like that. So yeah, so we look out for that too.
Look forward to that too. But as we close up, Mello, any sort of key message that you'd love anyone to know right now who's tuning in for the song Pray for More, what you want them to get out from it, and even just a word of encouragement to maybe the younger generation that's coming up wanting to step into the same scene as you?
Yeah. So anyone listening, like, Pray for More is just a song about resilience, and like, you know, just whatever happens in your life, depending if it's dark or the toughest time in your life, just make sure, like, whether you have a God in your life or not, just remember, faith will get you through everything. Just as long as you keep the faith and you keep the strength inside, and just remember, you're never alone. Like, we come from a long line of ancestors, and whether you know that or not, they're always with you. So I just want to let people know, like, whatever you go through, just have that resilience and keep on going and spread love and light, because there's wars going on around the world, and there's a lot of hostility and kind of uncertainty. So as long as we spread love and compassion for everybody, understanding, I feel that we can move forward as a community and as one world. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, look, Mello, thank you so much for your time this morning. So appreciate it, and all the best, of course, for the rest of the bigger project. But yeah, we are going to be spreading that music and sounds. I think we need to get a cleaner version of the song, but we know that me and producer Paige, we're already vibing to it. We think it's a great song. All the best. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.